Hey everyone, Miss White here, and today we're going to take a moment and talk about another grammar gremlin, those easy mistakes that we make in writing. Today we are going to focus on two, and two. Let's take a look. The first one is pretty simple. Two. This version of two is also known as two. Like when we're counting. 1, 2, 3. It's important to remember that if we're writing something down in an essay, to make sure we spell those. But that's not the point today. This is the number 2. And I think we know that. So we're not going to focus on that for the rest of our day. But I want you to stick that in the back of your head and remember that TWO, that's the number. Okay. The next 2 is TO. And this version of 2 tells us where to go. It's the direction that we're going. We're going to somewhere. When you go to the zoo or to the park or whatever, you're going somewhere. It's not anything else. It's just where we're headed. Where we're going to go. What we're going to go do. It's where you're going. Okay? Last but not least is TOO. And the easiest thing to do is to remember that to also, this version of to, can mean also or very. So for example, if we see a sentence, we should test it out and see, does that fit in there? If it sounds weird, doesn't work very well, then we should use this version of to. We should use this to. If saying also or saying very sounds weird and doesn't make sense, then we should use this version of to. Well, let's try applying it. What do we know? What do we see? Let's test it. Remember, we want to use the synonym for the word to, TOO, to mean also or very. So we're going to try both of those words in the sentence to see if it makes sense. But before we begin, let's read it out loud. To the average person, gremlins are frightening. However, just like people, gremlins want friends too. They don't just hang around to scare you, just to get to know you. Okay, let's see. How is this worded? To the average person, to. Also the average person. Well, it could, but that doesn't quite make sense. Very, the average person. I don't think so. So I think that this has to be the word to. T. And my thing when it came in, I don't want that. O. Right? Okay. To the average person, gremlins are frightening. However, just like people, gremlins want friends too. Oh, here's another 2. Let's try putting also or very in there and see if it works. However, just like people, gremlins want friends very. No, that does not make sense. Okay, let's try the other one. However, just like people, gremlins want friends also. Oh, that makes sense. That means it's not TO, it's TOO. They don't just hang around to scare you, just to get to know you. Okay. They don't just hang around very scare you. Nope. They don't just hang around also scare you. Well, if they did also, it'd be to also scare you, so that doesn't work. Okay. That means it must just be TO. They don't just hang around to scare you, just to get to know you. Just also get to know you. Just very get to know you. I think it must stay. Just to get to know you. Also know you. Very know you. Nope, that doesn't work. So these must be the 3 changes that need to make. Remember, although it wasn't in here, TWO would be for the number 2. Okay, so now I want you to practice. The gremlin, I want you to put in 2 or 2. The gremlin lost his toy mouse in his favorite monster book. Which one? For number 1. And number 2, the gremlin took her friend. Pick dandelions. Why don't you think about that and write it down? I'll give you about 15 seconds for each one. Okay. You should have this all written down, but if you don't, then feel free to pause the movie to finish getting your answer down. What's the answer? The gremlin lost his toy mouse and his favorite monster book. 2TO or 2TOO. Well, if we replace it with the word also or very, does it work? The gremlin lost his toy mouse and his favorite monster book also. Ooh, that makes sense. It must be the word to. The gremlin took her friend. Pick dandelions. The gremlin took her friend. Pick dandelions. Very pick dandelions. The gremlin took her friend also pick dandelions. Those don't really make sense, so it must be the word to. Well, how'd you do? Please ask if you have more questions or concerns. But that's all I've got. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.